Hello friends, and welcome to the video. So someone put a comment a week ago or something about saying that they're stuck. They still feel stuck. Now, what's the teaching from Advaita Vedanta? The teaching is traditionally that of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So you hear the message, you question, resolve your doubts, and then you let it sink in, basically. We have often hear these ideas of instant awakening, but that's not really how Advaita Vedanta traditionally teaches this. First of all, it is a process that you listen, you question, and then you meditate on it. You might need to go back to listening again, and then questioning again, and then listening a bit more, and questioning again, and listening a bit more, and questioning again, and then meditating. Or it's not just something of one day it's going to all happen. It does, but I think we need to ask, what exactly are you looking for? We talk about enlightenment. And often we think of, well, it's a peak experience. It's what happened when I took magic mushrooms. Or something that people who meditate a lot get. Or it's something that I heard somebody talking about. They got enlightened for 4 days and then it went away. All of those that big first group are peak experiences that are states that will come and go. If you're looking for what you really are, it's not something that's ever going to come, because it's what you already are. It's not something that you're not at the moment. By thinking it's going to be a state that's going to come, anything that comes can go. It's what you were today and yesterday, and in fact, what you are outside of time. Time arises in you, and you are always that. So it's not any of these things that you think you're going to become. Now, is it going to be the perfect peace? I'm never going to get angry again. I'm never going to get sad again. Well, unfortunately, the body is in a world where it needs to survive, and the body has evolved to feel threatened. The mind, especially in modern society, is stimulated in ways that it does feel needs and wants and fear and threat and desire. That bad things will continue to happen, but you are the thing that observes them. So it's also not going to be something that suddenly you're going to not care about anything. You're going to kind of become brain dead or just stupid, walk in front of a train. A lot of this mental health stuff can be achieved very well through meditation and modern techniques, modern therapy, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, challenging your thoughts, these kind of things. And it helps. But what Advaita Vedanta, the definition of enlightenment in this is really understanding your awareness, understanding you're the thing in which everything arises, and you and all this stuff that arises is not separate from you. You could realize that you are awareness in a materialistic model. You could say, well, so I see I'm awareness. I see my thoughts arise before me. I see my moods are things that come and go. They are not what I really am. I am the awareness which observes them. And this awareness, this consciousness, is created by the brain. And the brain is inside the head, which is controlled by the body, and it's inside the world. But the Advaita Vedanta, the awakening, moksha, is is a non-dual understanding. It's seeing that all of this arises in you. You don't depend on any of it. It is separate from you in some ways, because it just arises and goes and you are left untouched. But also it's not separate from you because there is nothing other than you. There is no subject and object in this, and you can explore this in the direct path. As we see, when something arises, you see that there's not an arising and a subject arising. The subject can't be found. There is just this knowing, the consciousness. And it's also not anything that can be pointed at. It's not consciousness out there. It's not a conceptual consciousness. It's not that you have to become that thing, which is consciousness. It is just what's here. It's the thing that can never be found, but that which you always are, the most intimate thing. The thing which is open and rejects nothing. It accepts all things and is not hurt by anything. It's always at peace because it doesn't change. It can't be affected. It's just pure knowing that has always been there. Is so ancient because it's outside of time. Time arises in it. And this understanding can be achieved by studying. Like I teach English, people get stuck in different parts. They think that they're looking for the sudden moment when they're just going to be able to speak English, and they think that they've studied it enough, that they studied lots of grammar at school and they know all that, and they read texts and they understand all the texts. That they, at work, they say, oh yeah, I have to read text and I understand everything. And I get them to translate the text into English, and they're just imagining half of it. They don't really have a grasp of what the words really mean. They have their own idea of what the words are going to mean, and then they get this wrong understanding. So, but yes, that's English teaching. People get stuck often in the third stage. Why can't I speak it? Is because they haven't done the groundwork. They haven't really learnt all the words. They think they've just read them once and they'll always remember them. And in Advaita Vedanta, often people get stuck maybe in the first part, in the listening part. They just think one more YouTube video and suddenly they will get it. But they're kind of ignoring all these doubts they have. They maybe write them down and find the answers. There are answers out there to everything, really. You could look at, if you're stuck in materialistic thinking, then listen to Bernardo Kastrup, or you doubt some of the ideas of Advaita Vedanta, listen to Swami Savripananda, or just look at the direct path and just see in your direct experience what is actually the case beyond these assumptions that you have about what reality is. Just see what is your direct experience. Explore that, and then let it sink in. Test it. Francis Lucille says, test your understanding in the world like a scientist. If this is the case, I had this model before. Now, if this is the case, how does it change things? You can do all the kind of non-dual meditation, Advaita meditation, like trying to find the witness, not the witness, the I thought, like Ramana Maharshi. Where is the I thought? And as soon as you see that there is no self there is no separate self, you get it. Do the kind of Nisargadatta path where you rest in the felt sense of I am, and I am. And then you see that no, that I am is also rising in awareness. I'm that thing which is deeper. This thing that is not separate, this non-dual thing. The one without a second, as they say in the Upanishads. It's not I think we've sometimes get the wrong idea, because a lot of teachers in the 80s and the 90s and the beginning of the year 2000 said they had this sudden awakening and now they're all at peace. And it's easy to say, and I think some of them are authentic, but it's also some of the teachers that I prefer are not ones that claim that, because you could get a narcissist or a sociopath who just claims that, or somebody who's just confused, doesn't realize that they haven't got it. Jeff Foster, for example, said that he did claim he was enlightened and did all these tours and books, and now he says that he apologizes for claiming that he thought he was really spiritual bypassing, that he thought he was the most enlightened person, and now he sees that it was premature. Rupert Spira doesn't talk about a big enlightenment experience. He's just had this deepening of understanding, just as you would do if you were studying English. So you slowly get better. It dawns on you how the things just happen. They come out, the words come out correct and without thought. The understanding is deeper than the mind. Rupert Spira often talks about how when Suzuki, the Zen master, was asked why does he never talk about his enlightenment experience, his wife chipped in and said because he's never had one. Rupert Spira talks about, yes, moments of like fireworks, and everyone gets that with any learning process. But yes, it's the thing that you always are. So in some ways there is not a learning process. It is just realizing that you are that thing that doesn't need to come or will never go. But yeah, the mind, remove those doubts, remove the doubts, and then the truth will be there. And Swami Sarvaprananda also, another one of my favorites, he talks, he never talks about being enlightened, and he says he will never, even if he does get enlightened. And he talks of himself as if he's not enlightened, partly because within that he's a monk in the Ramakrishna order. It's not done. You don't go around claiming that suddenly you're the enlightened monk. They play that down and promote more like devotion and good works and things like that, rather than suddenly claiming that you've suddenly become special because it's a community of monks. They don't claim these things, and Swami Sarvaprananda says that when people do claim enlightenment, it can be very spiritually damaging if it's premature. You think you've got it, you tell a whole load of people you've got it, when it really is something that can cause more harm than good. If you feel stuck, find out what are you looking for, and then see what you need to do. Are you stuck because you have doubts? I think in non-duality, very few people in the modern world need to listen to the message more, but there may be certain parts of the message that you could benefit from hearing. Again, you have doubts, listen again. You have doubts, question them. But the big thing is the non-dual meditation, really seeing how it will become your reality. It's not a question of brainwashing yourself. It's a question of seeing what's really here, like a scientist would. So, I hope that's helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.